the projects sponsored by CFA and the intermediaries. In certain cases, information provided to the committee was incorrect. The firm name EU Forward Finance Auxiliary Pty Ltd, for example, does not exist. The committee secretariat had to accept that Forward Finance Pty Ltd was the correct corporate name. This is because the intermediaries' profiles were not supplied to the committee as asked prior to and during the oversight visit. Also, the committee was unable to communicate with the few people it had identified. There is no information provided as to why these people were not available or traceable. The extension of portfolio credit guarantees to people rather than corporations necessitates further transparency. Honorable members, these are credit guarantees that are provided to individuals like Ms. Cindy Swamaume. The committee needs to be briefed. How is this possible? You know, it will help the committee members to understand as well how CFA operates. Pursuant to the committee chairperson communicate to the department and CFA, supplementary information around these projects must reach the committee secretariat no later than 16 May. Chairperson, 16 May is next week, Tuesday. Well, I will make a recommendation towards the end of my presentation because this is just the first consideration of the oversight visit. There is also another scheduled meeting to take place next week on 17 May 2023, maybe then to adopt the oversight report. 10.2, during its oversight, the committee discovered that several of the programs, including the wholesale lending facility, portfolio credit guarantees, and joint venture, require more scrutiny and understanding. The 54 million rands investment to Nyami Berries, for example, necessitates further unpacking. This company, from what the committee understands, may be a subsidiary of an Australian firm. The committee invitation was not honored by either the funder, which is Forward Finance Pty Ltd, or the recipient, which is Nyami Berries Pty Ltd. As a result, it lacks specific information regarding this project. As above, this information must be relayed to the committee without delay. 10.3, so is IntelliMatch Financial Services Pty Ltd, which appear to have sponsored the company, which appear to have sponsored Kings and Queen, a company that only exists on paper. These are all questionable projects that the department and CFA should explain to the committee. With the exception of Ezimali Africa Ltd, all other intermediaries declined the committee invitation without apology. The committee finds it extraordinary that companies benefiting from the public purse are at the same time refusing to account to Parliament. The governance of state-owned entities is vested in Parliament. It is also vested in the executive and the boards of the SOEs. Portfolio committees have control of SOE service delivery performance due to their engagement in the legislative, budget, and in-year monitoring procedures. As a shareholder, the executive authority, which is now the minister, the executive authority's corporate governance responsibilities entails ensuring that all necessary and appropriate corporate governance structures, procedures, practices, controls, and safeguards are established, properly implemented, and operate effectively in the SOE in question, from the board of directors downwards, as well as in respect of the board's accountability to the shareholder. CFA has to account. It has no choice. The requested report should also include information on these two companies, which is IntelliMatch and Kings and Queens Heart. 10.4, the committee, based on the information collected from the recipients, is of the view and recommend that CFA should intensify oversight over intermediaries. CFA should also consider capping the rate of interest to at least 20% and below. Also, projects or companies funded by intermediaries should be considered for a grant portion identical to companies funded by CFA under direct lending. In other words, Chair, what we're seeing here, that grant element where small enterprises benefit if they apply direct through SEDA should also be extended to companies that are funded by intermediaries. In addition to the detailed report required from the department and SEFA, the Portfolio Committee believes that an immediate and exhaustive engagement with the department, SEFA Accounting Authority and Accounting Officer is necessary to address this and other issues that concern the Portfolio Committee. In preparation for this meeting, the Portfolio Committee will also request from SEFA all necessary documentation, such as intermediary profiles, intermediary client profiles. These would be companies that are funded by intermediaries, adjudication process of approving MFIs and RFIs, adjudication meeting minutes, investment committee meetings, and so on. The specifics of the meeting will be conveyed by the Secretary in due course, but it should not be later than 30 June 2023. In preparation for this engagement, the committee should also be furnished with the process or procedure followed to approve funding application for Mahikeng Mid-Market Pty Ltd, the due diligence conducted and explanation of why the project was approved without ASIM. Equally, the procedure pursued to approve Ezemali Africa Pty Ltd must also be shared with the committee. On the Spaza Shop support program, the department and SEFA must provide the committee with a full report that includes information about what happened when this project was carried out, as well as why the beneficiaries were not notified when the additional payment of 7,000 Rand was made. The majority of the beneficiaries have misplaced their Mobi Money wallet cards, and Nedbank is unable to issue replacements. SEFA must explain to the committee how it intends to reclaim funds deposited to some of the cards. Since then, the committee has also determined that SEFA supplied incorrect information to Parliament. The materials or the information provided to Parliament misleadingly claim that all Spaza Shop beneficiaries received 10.5. Neither is it correct that transfers were made on or before the 31st of March 2022. The committee is yet to establish whether this was a deliberate deception of Parliament. SEFA Board of Directors and the department must look further into it. Chair, as I indicated earlier on, we are in touch with the beneficiaries of this project. Some have actually confirmed that they have not received this money. Some have confirmed that they've lost the cards. So we don't know really what's going on here. That said, the above recommendation does not preclude the Portfolio Committee from embarking on its own investigative procedure. The onus is on the Portfolio Committee, pursuant to its constitutional responsibility, to carry out its own inquiry in order to take an appropriate remedial action. The Portfolio Committee notes that to meet its fiduciary duty of prudence, its recommendations ought to be well informed, reasonable, and attainable. Owing to informational inadequacy at its disposal, determining feasibility for some of the projects visited, or detecting whether maladministration, fraud, or corruption had occurred were inclusive. Hence, we are requesting this additional information to understand exactly what is going on with these projects. On 10.8, the department and SEFA should consider reviving the initiative. The majority of the beneficiaries are pleased with the program. However, transportation costs for businesses in Mafikeng, Lichtenburg, and elsewhere became too expensive. Retailers and wholesalers in these locations must be identified, or informal traders and Spaza proprietors must be compensated for transportation costs. This is one of the issues, Chairperson and honorable members, that were raised sharply by the beneficiary of this project. 10.9, the department and entities must broaden their understanding of the projects they support and identify gaps that requires intervention in the form of additional funding, infrastructure, technical assistance, skill development and training, as well as those that require support from state organs. like the municipalities, like the district municipalities, because constitutionally, each sphere of the state has its own constitutional responsibility. SEFA is expected to have known that HACCP compliance is a technical prerequisite before it approves Mahican Mid-Market Pty Ltd's application for credit. And SEDA does supply these services. As things stand, if Mafikeng Mid-Market defaults, SEFA has no recourse against the company because it participated in reckless lending. The committee will monitor the department and quarterly reports to ensure that this recommendation is implemented. The committee is deeply concerned about business registrations and licensing. Everywhere the committee visits, it encounters the same problem. The department must expedite the processing of referring the business amendment bill to Parliament before the end of the first quarter, Chairperson, in line with the undertaking and the project plan that was submitted to the members of this portfolio committee. Otherwise, the committee will move on with the resolution to begin work on a committee bill to amend the Business Act. The committee noted in the legacy report of the Fifth Parliament that the department and SEFA lacks appreciation for the role of stokvels, village banks, and cooperative banking institutions in bridging funding gaps for informal traders, cooperative enterprises, and entities operating in remote areas in particular. SEFA's wholesale lending facility only funds financial intermediaries registered by the National Credit Regulator. However, the agency has not investigated or attempted to bring into the fold the cooperative banking institutions registered, licensed, and regulated by the CBDA, by the CIPC, by the Prudential Authority, and Financial Sector Conduct Authority. These are agencies of the South African Reserve Bank. By the way, I forgot to include here, and also the Financial Intelligence Center, FIC. These agencies' collective monitoring implies a significantly better governance and risk-based approach to managing public funds. As the CBDA's incorporation approaches, the department must, in its next quarterly report, advise the committee on how it intends to strengthen the agency's mandate and the strategy for utilizing the cooperative banks to increase access to finance for SMEs and cooperatives. Then the last one, honorable members, the portfolio committee is in the same position it was before embarking on this oversight. There are a lot of gaps, honorable members. Withholding information to help the portfolio committee in carrying out its oversight responsibility constitutes contempt of Parliament. Under the Act, obstructing Parliament from carrying out its activities and exercising its authority is a crime, punishable by a fine or imprisonment for up to 3 years. The department must ensure that SEFA hands over all the material identified in this oversight report no later than 16 May 2023. The information being requested is assumed to be readily available. So it shouldn't be a problem really to have this information as early as 16 May 2023. Chair, I indicated earlier on that I have a request for the members to maybe just consider this report as a first draft while we are still waiting supplementary or additional information from the department and SEFA. Then we can make definitive conclusions when we consider it for the second time next week, Wednesday, on the 17th of May. Let me pause there for now, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Sbu. Honorable members, here we are. We've got the two reports. The last one is for noting while waiting for the department to bring its report because of those issues which are still pending. One can say that the department indeed, through the minister, has requested the committee to give the department time to deal with certain issues, since some of the things were being observed by the portfolio committee as well as the department itself. So we have given them chance. I'm happy that SBU, you are also evenly in terms of the law and rules of the house. You are also coming up with some time frame where to receive those when to receive those reports. So I would request that we deal with the first one, that one of budget for consideration, but also that one I can't say we conclude here because members are busy with the budget vote. We may note it and request members to go and make some inputs, because the first report is the one which is also critical for us as the portfolio committee to can really reflect the way we want the department to conduct itself to close those gaps, including issues of lack of resources, a lot of issues which have been put before us by our officials, so that the department should consider it when we move forward. They know exactly what is it that we want. So, but I will allow honorable members to comment, but just to applaud our officials. You are really assisting us a lot. As members, we rely on you, and also our researchers. Honorable members, you will indicate by raising of your hand if you want to make any input, but based on what I have said, because if I say let's adopt the first report as it is, we may go back and find out that there are certain issues which we feel we're supposed to make some input. That's why I'm taking this approach as the chair. Thank you, honorable members. You will assist me, King. Yes.
Chairperson, I do see the hands of honorable members, but there is also a hand of Nwabisa, of which maybe I should think we can firstly give the opportunity, maybe there's some additional information so that members can respond on what has been.
Nwabisa, can we hear from you, our researcher?
Yes, thank you very much, Chairperson. Thank you very much, Braking and SWU, for a very comprehensive report. SWU Chairperson asked me about Mahikeng meat market, whether there was a grant in that 4.53 million loan amount that they were given by SEFA. I can confirm from the list, the beneficiary list that we received from the department and SEFA, that it was 8 tranches of loan amounts. So it is a loan. All of it is a loan. And so the other issue was that the enterprise, Mahikeng Meat Market, is operating despite the fact that there are questions hanging over their health standards. They are still servicing locals despite those questions. And the question becomes, if they are servicing the locals, how ethical is that, given that they are not meeting the health standards? Secondly, Chairperson, is the issue of Ezemali Africa. Ezemali Africa, SWU noted that Ezemali Africa lent money to Ezemali Africa's clients include the Donkey Dairy, my apologies, as well as DHA Mahikeng. So I wanted to add just a bit of information on that the DHA client is seemingly associated with the Department of Home Affairs in Mahikeng, as the email address of the client is written as stephen.tylet@dha.gov.za, which means that the money went to someone who works for government, and there is no company by the name DHA, but it seems like it's linked to the Department of Home Affairs there. I think those are the two issues that I wanted. Oh, the other one is the Mfuneko, Mfuneko enterprise. Mfuneko was, according to the beneficiary list given about 2.1 million, but on interactions with the owner of Mfuneko and of the Mfuneko enterprise, he also mentioned that he received 1.5 million. And so the question becomes, what happened to the rest of the funds? That is all from me, Chairperson. That's what I wanted to add. Thank you very much. Oh, lastly, the question that members also asked regarding the Spaza facility was that if in Northwest, the 3,500s were given and there was supposed to be an additional amount of 7,000 just in the Northwest. We only visited, I think, about 3 municipalities in the Northwest. What is the situation across the country? Did people in other municipalities and other provinces receive those 7,000s? What is the situation? Because it looks like the Northwest issue is just a microcosm of what is happening around the country. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you. Honorable Jacobs is requesting to be the first because he is leaving. So can you give me other names? He is going to be the first. Can you give me the other names of the honorable members? Honorable Braking.
Chair.
Yes.
So
give me
we
other
have seen
names.
the request. We have seen the request of Mr. Jacobs. So
Yeah.
it's Mr. Jacobs, Mr. Honorable Kruger, Honorable Matulelwa, Honorable Mtenjane, and Honorable April.
Okay. Honorable Jacobs.
Thank you, Chair, and greetings to everybody on the platform. I think let's start by thanking the team of the Portfolio Committee officials led by Comrade Sibusiso for both comprehensive reports on the budget report as well as the Northwest report. There's a lot of information here, Chair, so I think you're right in your process and guiding us to I think just consider both of these reports. I think for me, this report does reflect really accurately our observation. So I think it's important that we do consider these two reports. But let's start with the first one, the report on the budget vote. I think there's a lot of good recommendations, key information that is here. I think it will be doing well. I think given that our budget vote is next week, this lays a good basis for us to engage and also to support the recommendation. So I certainly would be one to support all the recommendations coming out of this budget vote. I think we all note that small business is big business and it's everybody's business. And I think as this portfolio committee, we've been really working well. And even though there are times where we do have our differences and we have our political vantage points, I think we work really well to come together. I also want to say that the Northwest trip was a particular good experience because for the first time post-COVID, we got to see each other not only on the Zoom but also on the together for a few days, which was really good and memorable. And I think the findings and our observations does broadly reflect what we picked up on the ground. And I think whilst we must commend the great work of our officials, I think there's some great examples. I was very impressed by the cooperatives, the Orange cooperatives, and there's many good examples where we can see that our policy formulations and the budgets and the plans that the department and the agencies are pushing through, it's bearing fruits. We can literally see the labor, the impact, the success stories. We can literally touch that person who has benefited from our policy intentions of trying to create a more entrepreneurial society and our culture. But I think what we also picked up is some challenges. Life happens while we make plans. And I think what we need now is, let's acknowledge all these observations. Yes, we could have, our observations are lacking understanding or lack more information. And I think that is forthcoming. I think let's give the department and the ministry some time. I'm not sure if it will do justice if we give them just till next week, Wednesday. I might want to offer them at least another week or two, given that there's a lot of information and given that we want them to respond in a very detailed way on how they're going to respond to the findings and observations. I think our role very clearly as oversight is to ensure that what we see on the ground is what we reflect, and we want answers and we want accountability to the money, the people's money. And where there is impropriety and where there's wrongdoing, there must be consequences. And I think that's part of the accountability and an oversight role that we all collectively have to play. I think when someone or some people are involved in dubious activities, it's easy to do the blame game and say it's that party or this party, or try to put us in the different lagers. I'm hoping that this portfolio committee can have that maturity to say, let's confront the real issues. Let's tackle the real issues. Let's acknowledge where there is progress and improvements, and then also acknowledge where we need certain interventions. So clearly for me, I think the big issues coming out of this Northwest trip was that we need to do more with access to finance for our people. And so the intermediary, remember we had the Usury Act. And so we fought, and then we had the National Credit Regulatory Act, which was giving more power not only to the banks, but also intermediaries, small microfinance intermediaries, to also give access to loans. It's clear that we need to still go a long way to change the big banks and making them see the need for affordable finance. But I think our step of microfinance is something that needs to be regulated. It is regulated, but I'm cautioning the portfolio committee not to throw the baby out with the bathwater, because if done properly, those microfinances like the Grameen Bank and all of the other cooperative models have an opportunity to give accessible finance to all of our people. I think it's CEF. That structure has benefited more than 16,000 small rural aunties in the North provinces. And so that is a good example. And I think we might want to regulate the maximum amount of interest that they can charge. But I think we must be careful not to only put a lot of our attention on them. In fact, if I was wanting to focus on, we need to focus on the big banks. I would argue that not more than 25%, not 20%, must be the upper limit. Because you see, there's big risk. No one wants to bank or make the poor bankable. Not the big banks don't want to touch poor people. So we need to also manage the risk around getting affordable access to finance for our small businesses. So I think there's a lot of issues here. There's a lot of good work. There's a lot of those red flag where we want more answers and clarity. I think we as a portfolio, we must be unanimous about getting to the bottom of this. And if there is consequences, we need to ensure that whoever the officials are involved, we get responses and also proper accountability. But for now, Chair, I want to support both these considerations. In fact, I want to support the budget vote report, maybe second that, because we have to adopt our budget next week. So maybe that is something that we should consider, and then also note the report the Northwest, consider it and also get further input. So we acknowledge the draft one that we have, and then we encourage written submissions, but also direct feedback and accountability from the executive. Chair, with that, I would like to thank the team that made a very comprehensive, very detailed report possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Jacobs. Indeed, we need to adopt the report because we're debating next week. The one which we are noting because we still need some, so we need the report from the department and also some work which are supposed to be submitted by the department based on our observation. Then what I can say under Nwabis, forward your issues, all your issues you have raised to SBU, and then they will see to it how to include it for request from the department. And then on the one of the 3,500, I agree with you, but I still remember that I indicated this to SBU, that can we, and yourself, Nwabisa, can we engage, request the department, even the CFA in all those areas to submit the beneficiaries for us so that we may be able also to check with them. It's a good question. We are the ones who must assist them to make sure that whether they did receive such money or not, and also to come up with some recommendation on how best should they assist our people on the ground. So I wanted to respond on that one of Nwabisa before I forget. Thanks, Honorable Jacobs, for supporting the budget vote. Can we hear from Honorable Kruger?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And yes, I also don't see a problem with our first report or the second report. Of course, I wasn't with the oversight in the second report, so I believe what he's saying. I know SBU very well. He's a very thorough member when it comes to this report, and I want to thank you also, the staff, of putting this report together. But Madam Chair, allow me just to go to the first report to 6.1, because I think we must just correct that sentence, because 6.1 talks about foreign nationals, and I don't think the issue is foreign nationals. The issue is illegal foreign nationals. So we must just change the wording. And the same with 7.5. We also in the recommendation talk about foreign nationals, and I think we must just change it. I propose that we change it to illegal foreign nationals, because that is the problem. Foreign nationals is not the problem, it's the illegal foreign nationals. And then my last point on that report is 7.10 about the oversight committee of the President's red tape unit. Chair, there's two proposals in 7.10, and I think I propose that we leave the part out after the all and just state that there must be an oversight committee over the red tape unit. I don't know if SBU understand me there, but I can talk to him afterwards. And then, Madam Chair, allow me just to give some general comments about oversight, because again, we went to oversight, and if I read the report, the committee members that was there was quite surprised on what go out actually, the reports we get in Parliament and what actually happened outside there. But first of all, I want to make a proposal, and maybe we must adopt this proposal, that when we go to oversight, or when Parliament goes to oversight, I mean, we stay in the best hotels, what have you. I think we must use small businesses and stay in guest houses. So, Madam Chair, and you are the champion of small businesses. So if you can drive it, and the minister can drive it in cabinet and make a rule that when we are on oversight, committee members and staff members must stay in guest houses and not this luxury hotels. That's my first point. And I think that is a no-brainer. We have to support small businesses, and special local small business where there's guest houses all over the place. And I think we must drive this point so that we can do that. And then, Madam Chair, the other point is, I mean, this is not the first time this committee of small business committee goes on oversight. My problem is we pick up a lot of problems in the field there with our small business, but we never go back to them. We tell the officials and we write reports and say, listen, you must fix this and this and this, and we are surprised about this and this, but we never go back and see, did these officials fix that problem? Or is that small businesses that we saw that's in a crisis are still in a crisis 4 or 5 years later? So we need to have some sort of a mechanism that we can go back to them and say, listen, did their situation actually change for the benefit of the small business, or was it just one of those things? And I think I'm correct when I say that, when officials just say noted and nothing is done afterward. And then, Madam Chair, also a general note, if we can, because we all got constituencies, right? And if we can, us as members of this committee, identify 3 projects in our constituencies, and then take an official of small business, an official of SEDA, and an official of SIFA to these 3 projects, so that we can show them what's happening and help them. I mean, if we as 10 members of this committee sort out 3 projects, that's already 3 projects that's 100% sorted out. So I really want to make a request to you that we get some 3 projects that every constituency or every MP on this committee identify, and then we take some officials there and sort the small businesses problems out. Then my last general point, Madam Chair, PESI. I think I announced it correct. It's something of the president. I think it's President Emergency something. We went while you were on oversight in Northwest. We went to Mpumalanga on the agriculture oversight. And look at rural development, especially. There's farmers that receive 7 rand. 7 rand. Let me just say it again. 7 rand from PESI, so that they can fix their small. So there's small farm with 7 rand from government. So, Madam Chair, I think we need, as guardians of small business, small farms, and what have you, we need to have oversight on this PESI and see what really happened to that money, because it's also taxpayers' money, and that is just a suggestion that we get some information of this PESI and see what really happened out there, because it's ridiculous to give a farmer, a small-scale farmer, 7 rand. And thank you, ma'am. I will stand there. And again, thank you for the SPUR and the staff members of putting this report together.
Thank you, Honorable Kruger. Your experience assists this committee. I think you made a valid point in your contribution, more especially on the feedback. I think it's something which we'll have to digest. How do we do that feedback in the first place? But fortunately, honorable members, we are having these virtual meetings. We may use virtual meetings to coordinate all those beneficiaries, those who were successful, those who were having successful, and those who are having unhappiness, to can make some follow up. I think it's a good point. I would like that it be jotted down under recommendations. It is assisting us because we can't go there physically rather than going to other places. But how do we make sure that what we have observed, is there any improvement from those issues which were raised by those special on those beneficiaries who were saying that we are lacking, for example, those farmers we visited, they were saying that they are requesting implementers. If they can get implementers and irrigation, production can be improved. So if indeed we don't go back and check whether they've been assisted or not, it is zero to me. So thanks for that valid point. And then another one, the one of BMG Bees, I agree with you. Tina, as a portfolio committee, we were not in the luxury hotel for your information. We slept in the guest house. So I believe we will be a good example, Larry, to other departments. But I'm taking your point. You are not even referring to us only. You are saying, as the mother of small business, as the portfolio committee, let's champion it in parliament to can say, if we are serious, why are we not empowering those small businesses in those areas, unless we're in an urban area where completely there is no such. I fully agree with you, Honorable Kruger. And then also, we will note down the issue of oversight on that issue of, we are saying whether it's pacey or what. I believe our officials are jotting it down, but you were not there, but your contributions are available. Thank you so much, Honorable Kruger. Can we hear Honorable Matulelo? And also, thank you for supporting the budget, that a vote that it be adopted by this committee, because we're debating next week. Honorable Matulelo.
Thank you, Chair. Greetings to honorable members. Mine is not that much, but I would like to firstly thank the officials led by Mr. Gumede. Clearly, they worked it out. Everything is clear and detailed in a very, I can say it's a very, very detailed manner. So my contribution and my proposal, Chair, is, can we just in our recommendations and observations about the oversight, while Ms. Nwabisa was even reminding us about what we said, because of us being concerned after the oversight of Northwest, what is happening in all over the country, in all 9 provinces. If Northwest is operating like that, this safer thing, more especially that spaza shops who were having 3,500 instead of 10,500. So my recommendations, or I may put it as a proposal, Chair, SIFA must not get any budget. Let's at least maybe the budget must go to CEDA, or else they must process CEDA must process the applications of small businesses. Those who are maybe the clients of SIFA, they must get it from CEDA, or there must be a direct management of the money up until we got, because remember, I proposed in this committee that we need some of the people to account on what is happening, and also as this portfolio committee, we need to open an official case against this SIFA, because really we need it to be investigated. Maybe Hawks can go and investigate and all of these things. It can't be that we again, after this oversight, we give SIFA the budget or monies of government to again, on top of questionable acts that they did. So I just wanted to say, Chair, please just let us just do justice for our small businesses, and there must be people arrested in these things, because really it's not on in the side of the oversight. Let us not give the any monies up until further notice. Let us not give them. Let us just disqualify this SIFA thing. It's really corrupt. To be they are corrupt, this SIFA. And then with the budget that is coming, Chair, yes, I can see the everything, the report, but this thing of budget cut is not for small business. It must not, everything that the government plans, they must not do things as a standard. They must firstly check. You can't do a uniform thing to say you are cutting budget from all other departments, including small business. It's not correct. It's not correct. For small business, there's no need to cut budgets, because small businesses are the ones that they need more money. You can't compare small business and education or any other department that only require budget to buy maybe assets or some papers or whatever they want. But small business is a serious department that needs more budget than any other departments that are being affected by this thing of budget cuts. I just wanted to say that let us also do away with this cutting of the budget. It's very, 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 very painful to be a small business in this country. Even if we have only the number that we visited, just imagine how many small businesses that were not even having anything from any intermediary as a loan or what, because I don't even believe that we must put the people that were supported by the small business only to find out that they paid back the money as a loan, and it's more than 29% in interest, and they appear here as people that were given money from government. I don't know, we are being misled by SIFA as well. I think here we must have people that are directly helped by the SIFA and also by the CEDA. No, this thing of having huge amounts that cannot be accounted for by the SIFA itself, it's a misleading part of it. So thank you, Chair, without wasting time, and just wanted to say that SIFA must no longer receive any money from the department. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Matulele. Thank you, my daughter. I warned you last week that don't bite the bone. must buy the flesh. I still repeat that. You are a mother. If you close the tap, it's like when in hospital, one doctor has done wrong with a patient, and then you come and say, I'm now closing this hospital because one doctor did not follow the correct procedure. Hence, I'm closing oxygens and everything. All your children will die. So I agree with you. There are wrongs which we have observed, but we can't punish the entire children. You can't punish your small businesses, all of them. Let's play the ball, not the men. Let's deal with those who are corrupt. If ever there is evidence, let's really refer issues to Hawks, and they must they must be held accountable without any fear or favor. But as a mother, you can't destroy or kill your children because of anger. So I'm appealing with you, as much as I support you, and more especially on the issue of budget. You are totally right. It's something which we must emphasize strongly, that thousands and thousands of people are applying. I think to support your statement, let's check the issue of the intermediary. Let's support what Honorable Kruger is saying, that let's have a way of doing oversight kule issue red tape. Since Mr. Nkosi was requested to come before us as the portfolio committee to present himself and saying that he's preparing himself, I think we've got that obligation to can make some follow-up, but it's something which Honorable Kruger is saying he will still discuss with Bosbo outside this meeting, but I'm in support of that. But on that one, baby, don't bite the bone, bite the meat. Honorable Ntenjana, it's your chance.
Madam Chair, can I just, Madam Chair, I'm very sorry. I just on a point of order, and I didn't want to interfere with the speakers. You say after my input, thank you for supporting the budget vote. I didn't support the budget vote. I supported the officials with our report. So I just want to correct it for our minutes. Yes.
Honorable Kruger, it might be slippery of tongue. We
Yes,
are
that's all I
presenting
want to know. Just for the minutes.
The budget
Yeah.
report, not the budget vote.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. It's just for the minutes so
Okay,
that
thank you.
everybody is clear. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Ntenjana, my son.
Hey, ifasile namuhla, Chairperson. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Ndilava swona n'wananga, ndilava swona n'wana wa mina, mi hlawuleriwe sweswo, hayi akeni tiko. Mi hlawuleriwe sweswo. Mi hlawuleriwe sweswo.
No, indeed, Mom. Thank you very much, Chair, the colleagues, and everybody. And also, I will also concur with the previous speakers about the report. It's on its own. Sbu and your team, thank you very much. You did your proper research as always. We are very much proud of you. And then we come direct now to the report itself. Chairperson, of course, also you will understand and agree with me that for the budget votes, for us maybe to agree or not to disagree and all those things, we first need to check as to when we agree, are we agreeing on principle or are we just doing a window dressing? We're agreeing just because we agree. The reason why I'm saying this, Chair, the department, it does not deliver what it was created for since 2014, if I'll say it correctly. Because we talk about the department which is having a vision and a mission and the values and all those things, but where is the innovation in that? Where's the integrity? Where's the professionalism? Where's the customer center? Where's the commitment and caring organization if you have a department which cannot monitor its own entities? Now, this thing comes together, Chairperson. I know that there is a first report and a second report of the oversight and all those things, but sitting down here, when you check on these things, they all come together in the same department. Now, how do you then pass a vote or agree with a vote or budget vote for a department that does not cater for its people? It is becoming very difficult, Chairperson. That is why some of us then we've been advocating that, well, because we are not saying that the small businesses must not be supported, as we are saying that we must not bite, we must bite the meat, not the bone. Indeed, we are biting the meat, not the bone, because we are saying let this department go back to trade and industry. So all the budgets will go there so that it go direct to the small businesses, our small businesses. Because through this department, it is of no value, Chairperson, to approve budget which at the end of the day does not help our small businesses. That is what we are saying. This budget, we approve it year in, year out, just to help the comrades here who are working there. In other words, we go back now to this thing of cadre deployment to say now we are just helping each other as comrades, that we must get money, because it does not go to the people. For example, the committee has done a great job as well in the oversight in the Northwest, a very great job, Chairperson, to find out that all what we've been saying is actually true about the CFA. We've been saying this, Chairperson, about the CFA, that the less we speak about it, the better. But some of us who are being labeled as not fair and all those things. The CFA, Chairperson, we said it already. It does not help our people. I think Hawks must come in on this thing. Because if you check here as a committee, you will agree with me, Chairperson, even if I was not there on that oversight. But of course, it is here in the writing. We can see it in black and white here, that there are a lot of individuals, the so-called beneficiaries, who did not receive monies or monies according to the report or according to what CFA was saying. We are told that people received 3,000, 3.5 instead of 10,000, 10,500. Why such happen? And when we interfere, at the same time, then there were a call that says, nah, no. Or those people were called at the time when the committee was there to say, no, you must say you have received those things. But the people have spoken the truth and said, no, we did not receive anything. Then someone from CFA, now we are told that he came and interfered to say, no, look, this money, it was not like that because we said this one gonna come after and all those things. Is it the same thing in the whole country? Because remember what happened in the Northwest probably is happening in the 9 provinces, which is the whole country. Now imagine all those 7,000s when you multiply them around the country, around the 9 provinces. How much is that money? Now you want us to come here and approve such a budget and say, yeah, this department must be given so much money because it's helping our people. It's not, Chairperson. Let's be honest. This department is not helping anything. It's got nowhere near helping our people. Nowhere. At least we've been saying also, entities like SEDA, we know what they're doing. Even the people tell us here, we've been saying it, that they go to them, they give them their business plans and all those things. But when they go to CFA, the opposite is true, is the truth. I mean, those people are not being funded. Even if they have the business plans from competent organizations such as SEDA. That then tells you that we're only having one entity here, which is SEDA. But the other one is not helping anywhere. It's not near nowhere to help our people, Chairperson. And it is the truth. Whether we deny it here or we don't deny it, it is the truth. At least in Northwest, it has happened in front of all of you. You saw it as a committee, practically, people coming to you saying, no, we don't know anything about these monies. But in the writing, saying, yeah, there is such a money. It has been happening, Chairperson. If you remember last year, there was such an issue as well from a certain beneficiary, I think from the Eastern Cape, which also we were told that she was given money. And then when she came on our oversight here through the virtual, she said, no, I didn't receive anything. And until today, nothing happened, Chairperson. Nothing happened at all. So I concur with the other speaker who said that maybe there should be consequences in a form of hawks, I believe, because those are at least the law agencies that we have here in our country, but also that we can't trust anyway. Remember, this country has turned itself into a country where its people doesn't trust it at all, especially when it comes to issues of money, Chairperson. We will agree that money has been eaten in this government. Every time there's an issue of money, every time money is lost here and there, money does not arrive where it's supposed to go. But we are being said that we must come in and approve such budgets where our people are not going to get those monies. We can't, Chairperson. It's not easy. You can't allow, in other words, it's like allowing this thing to get on. We are saying, yes, the government must support our businesses, but through a better departments like trade and industry, because so far we understand that that is the only department, at least, that is much far better than this Department of Small Business. So that is the reality, Chairperson. I think, Chairperson, the recommendation, one of the recommendation when we get all the report as it is, because we are told that there was an agreement that the department will go back and find out if those people have received the monies which were promised. Some were promised that they're going to be given on the 26th of March and all those things. After we got all that clarity, I will at least request or suggest that, Chairperson, as a committee, we must start to bite. We must start to be a committee that is biting. We must not be like anything else that is not working in this country. We must be a biting committee whereby we recommend that, okay, all those officials who have stolen the money, because we must put it clear, Chairperson, they have stolen the money. They have taken the money for their own benefits. So the hawks must come in there. We must just identify those officials who were involved in issuing those funds and all those things, and then they must be arrested. They must be arrested for real, Chairperson, so that at least we make an example that indeed when you steal money here, you will be arrested. And these companies also, Chairperson, which were said to have been given money, but when you call them, no one wants to come and account. That tells you then that there's a shenanigan going on between that company and the officials. Because why would you be afraid to come and account or come and show yourself off if they call you to say, yeah, I did receive money, I'm company so. But then you put some lousy excuses until you end up not coming to account to the portfolio committee. That then tells you that, Chair, there is a shenanigan between these people calling themselves companies and our officials, the officials from the CIFA itself. And also lastly, Chairperson, here, we are being told that CIFA at least choose to give money to a company which is related to another country, which is Australia. Can you imagine that, Chairperson? We have our own people suffering here in this country. But instead of helping our people here, we see it deemed fit that at least we rather help companies from Australia, which we don't even know. Some of us, we don't even know where's Australia. We have people here who are suffering. But you take money, you give it to Australian people instead of South African people, poor people, by the way. No, Chairperson, this is too much. That's all I can say for now, Chairperson, to save the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Swa twakala. Lava nga dyoha n'wananga va fanele va panichiwa. A ku na munhu loyi a nga ta tsetseleriwa. Ku na ndlala la misaveni leyiwa. So there is no one who's going to defend wrongdoings. I fully agree with you, but let's allow the department to do its work and then we monitor them. At the same time, we've got the right through our researchers to can check demand from those reports, as I've indicated. I think Nwabisa made a point, and I'm the one who started that we are not going to be able to visit all the provinces. Can we please check beneficiaries from all those provinces, more especially on the one of the spaza shop? But on those other ones, I will request that we have virtual meetings, do oversight virtual meetings in all those provinces before we close, because there is a need for us to develop a legacy report, which will be taken forward by the seventh parliament. So I'm happy to have people who really is hard at work, who are sympathizing with our people on the ground. That's why my humble appeal is to say, let's play the ball, not the man, and let us not punish the child. Let's punish the culprit, of which I'm in agreement of whatever honorable members are saying, so that at the end of the day, they will say, wow, this committee has done 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're not going to leave any stone unturned, honorable members. Let's give the department to come up with their report. As far as I know, as the chairperson, I know that there are already issues which are happening in the department. Some of officials, as we're speaking, have been, they've received a precaution, a suspension, so that investigation can go smoothly. So you are on the right track. You know, if you are not on the right track, I would advise that no. Even if we are angry, we cannot take this route. But to defend our people on the ground, I think is very important. That's what we have been voted for. So thanks for this inputs, Honorable Tenjana. Can we now allow Honorable April on the stage? Honorable April.
Chairperson, Honorable April indicated that he's got a load shedding. I think he's got a problem with the network. He wrote in the chat box, I think will be responded to on it. The last hand that was thrown was Honorable de Villiers. I don't know whether he's still standing or he has been covered.
He is no. Honorable de Villiers, are you covered?
Yes, Chairperson. Good day to everybody. I'm covered. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Thanks, Honorable Members, for your input. I believe our officials have jotted everything down properly, and in due course, we'll get the report from the department, but you are allowed to can give input to SBU. Go and look at it. We need more suggestions to strengthen this committee than ever. So you are allowed to can input certain suggestions. Even if you were not part of us, but the recommendations, the observation and recommendations can give you clue to come up with certain recommendations. So we'll appreciate that. Can we now move to the next?
Chair, we have
Chairperson.
we have
Yes.
to adopt the budget
Yes.
vote report.
All right. Honorable Jacobs moved for the adoption while he was here because he said he support. Can I have a second, honorable members? Because the report is our report. We are demanding something from the department. We are telling the department what to do as the portfolio committee, which is in terms of the rules of the house. Then we'll then go and debate and we're at liberty to can debate whatever we think will strengthen this department at the same time.
Seconded, Chairperson, on the report, not on the budget vote.
Yes, yeah, we have got a report, my son here. We're not talking about the budget vote. Thank you. Can we now move to the next item? Can you flag again? But when I remember very, very well, the item which was last is the one on the study tour. Can you give us an update, both of you, SBU and Braking?
Thank you, Chair. I'll just start and then hand over to Mr. Komete. We are in progress in the preparation for this study tour, Chair. we had meetings with the two companies, and then right today at 2, we're also having a meeting with the officials from the embassy in Germany. So that will be the one who will also be assisting us in accessing some of the agent that needs to be attended to in Germany. So with all that, Chair, Mr. Kumete will state on the content, but on the side of the logistics, we are still awaiting for the quotations, which are from the agent, and then hopefully we'll be having them by tomorrow, and then we put together the second application to the Office of the House Chair. And thirdly, in terms of logistics, we're in contact with the IR relationship in Parliament, whereby we are going to try to apply for the official passports. We are waiting for the date we can be given. So in due course, I'll inform members whether we do it, all of us here in Cape Town. Hopefully they can be able to fly down. Lastly, though, we in the application are putting all members, but then we are still going to get the directive from the Office of the House Chairperson of the number of delegation that will be allowed to go. So far, that's on the side of the logistics. And then I can hand over to Mr. Kumete to continue with the tentative program that has been developed. Mr. Kumete, can you assist?
Thanks, Braking. Chair, no, we are almost there. Chair, on the, as Braking has indicated, the plan is to leave on Saturday, arrive in Berlin on Sunday. Then on Monday, that's where the real study tour begins, with the planned visit to the SMME Advisory Council. It's SME Advisory Council. It's the equivalent of what we are begging the department to, the process we are begging the department to put in motion, Chairperson. You can imagine an economy as big as Germany, they do have this council. I don't understand why we don't have such a statutory body, particularly that it's actually embedded in the National Small Business Amendment Act. In other words, Chair, which means we are not implementing the act. So on Monday, the plan is to meet with the advisory council.
Oh, you're there.
Hey, what happened?
Nobody.
What, did we lose you? Okay, Chairperson, while he maybe is trying to log in, this is a tentative program that has been developed that is now for Monday, as he has indicated, that we are planning to leave on Saturday and then arrive on Sunday. Then thereafter, we are going to start working on Monday. Let me try to get my program here. Just
Braking, am I still audible now?
you
Yeah,
have
you
just come back.
are.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
I'm using a different gadget now. Hey, it's load shedding. It's hectic.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
So
Continue.
yeah, so I was saying, Chairperson, on Tuesday, we are meeting a DGRV. It's an apex body in Germany. Then also on Tuesday, we are meeting EBVR. EBVR, it's a tertiary body for cooperative banks in Germany. Then also on Tuesday, we are meeting the Federal Office for Energy Cooperatives. Chair, we are mindful that we don't want to cloud a program because you said we must, take it easy. I know it was hectic in Northwest, so we are really mindful, to give you space in between. On Wednesday, we are meeting an energy cooperative, and then Berlin Public Utility Company also on Wednesday. Then on Tuesday, we are visiting another rural energy cooperatives around Berlin. It's going to be either in Hamburg or in Leipzig. Chairperson, we will conclude as soon as we know. We are also meeting on Friday another cooperative bank. In fact, we plan maybe to meet at least 4 cooperative banks. Again, we are meeting on Friday the GLS Bank. It's a very big bank. Apparently, we are told that when we go there, it's like we are entering Nedbank or Absa. So we are on the track, Chairperson. I thought we should just give you that feedback for now. Otherwise, the program, it's still a work in progress. It's not complete yet. We should be able to finalize it maybe before the end of May, once we know exactly. Because we have another meeting this afternoon with the DECO and the guys from the embassy. So we'll report back next week again. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Thanks, honorable members. It's just an update. I don't know whether there is anyone who wants to reflect something, because I requested that this should, but I don't think that it needs weeks to grant us that permission. So maybe sometimes we'll have to take it political. Honorable members, are you fine?
Yes, we are fine, Chairperson.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Chair, just to add one thing, we have just forgotten just that the whole will be in Berlin, German, just to indicate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Honorable Kruger.
Madam Chair, yeah, I just want to find out, and maybe I missed the question. Is the whole committee going, or only a part of the committee? Because it seems like other committees, they only allowed 5 members to go. So I don't know what is King and Sbu's opinion on this.
It's a try and error. Let me say that. You are right. But during our chairperson's forum, we argued about that, Honorable Kruger, because it is very difficult to select when they say, let 5 members go. Whom do you pick and choose as the chairperson? So it's something which we have raised with the speaker. We will believe that they had us where we would not achieve, we will come back to the members. That's why he's saying he has put everyone on the picture, and then when they advise, we'll take it in that order. But thanks for that, Ina. That question. It's a working document, so we are just getting progress. Any other issues which might arise, members will be informed and advised accordingly. Agreed? Are we still together, honorable members? I want to close the meeting officially.
Agreed, Chair.
Covered, Chair.
Thank you.
Covered.
Thank you. Can we call it a day? The meeting stand adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.